Hey, good evening, everyone. Today's Tuesday, November the 10th.
I'm Bruce Turner in Melbourne, Florida.
I'm George Dosher in Jacksonville, Florida.
I'm Glenn Jones in Mount Sterling, Kentucky.
I'm Jeff Zeiss in beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Napa, California.
Hey, gang, I'm Duke Carico, and on tonight's Android Journal, is there a design flaw with the Nexus 6P, a very expensive Android watch, and we're going to take a hard look at the Remix Mini Android PC. Good evening, panel. How we doing, gang?
Doing great, man.
Doing awesome.
All right. So,
Did I
George,
mention that I
you're
live in
fresh
beautiful
back
California?
from Og Camp over in the UK, Liverpool to be exact. You want to tell us really quick about your experience there with Og Camp this year?
A lot of partying now. Some videos posted about it. Basically, I only got to see two of the conferences. There was plenty of them. I got sort of put in charge of calendaring the thing, so I pretty much I talked with a lot of people. I got to hang out with Keith, Jazz, Richard, Fiona. I mean, all the regular people that I usually bum around with and stuff. So.
And most of those are taking coffee regulars. We should
Mhm.
Chris Finley too. He's been in our hangout multiple times.
So, did it rain any while you were in the UK?
Pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, on and off. I mean, there was days that it looked like it was going to rain, but it didn't. Just a little bit. Then the day we spent in London, me, Keith, and his daughter Robin, we basically got rained on the entire time.
All right. And Glenn, good to have you back with us here tonight.
I'm back in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Back home.
Yeah, yes, you are back in Kentucky, the green grass of home. Yeah, man.
Usually blue, but yeah.
Green, blue.
Okay. And listen, Robert Taylor, who was going to be on tonight, and is under the weather. Robert, get to feeling better, and we'll catch you next week. Hey, guys, let's talk a little bit of Android and Google news. First up, the Nexus 6P. It looks like it might have a design flaw. I don't know how serious. I don't think anybody's got a feel for it. But, this thing's got this big glass panel on the rear which covers the camera, the LED flash, the laser autofocus. It seems to be breaking all on its own without any help. I think one guy claimed that, when he was up in the airplane so many thousand feet that his cracked and broke. Anyway, Bruce, is this a problem? Is this a big design flaw for the Nexus device?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a problem. As far as the design flaw, I'm sure that they'll investigate, but like the article says, the good thing about this is these will all be repairable under warranty. But man, what a pain in the neck to get a phone that you've been waiting for and you're excited about, that's getting otherwise good reviews, and even for its camera, to then have to think about sending it back, because this is not a repair that you're going to have to be without your phone for a while. So, they might have to start pulling out some of those older phones. Hopefully they didn't trade into Gazelle. They got another phone they can use for a while. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But yeah, I saw that part about flying, and I'm thinking about, goodness gracious, could there really be a problem with the altitude? But one guy in that article says it's almost like his post is, hey, I just looked at my phone and it just cracked on its very own right in front of my very eyes, just sitting on the table, So
That must be one ugly dude's all I can say.
yeah, and his Twitter handle is ham sandwich. So
Ham sandwich, yeah.
I'm just going to leave that one alone.
Well, it could be as simple as something with the temperature. It's conducting the heat somehow, and the glass is breaking or whatever. But you think they would be able to say it's hopefully this batch of phones, from here to here was made not according to spec. Maybe they can trace it out a little bit. Who knows?
Otherwise it would almost. I mean, glass breaking would. I mean, I can understand the air pressure thing if that was part of it, but it doesn't seem that all of them are breaking like that. The only other thing I can think of is heat.
Yeah.
There's something going on when the phone's getting hot and it's causing some constriction or contraction, on the frame of that thing. Because I believe most of the body of this phone is metal, is it not?
Yeah, it is metal. It's
so it seemed to me to be some kind of a temperature thing that could be causing that. But we got specs are really tight on these things the way they're manufactured, and maybe there wasn't enough give and take designed in the thing. So
it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. I'd be interested to know if this is going to be a common problem, if it is truly a design flaw. It just amazes me as much testing is done on these things, how something like this can slip through anymore. But it happens. It's happened to both Android OEMs as well as the iPhone.
Have you noticed all the commercials that I see on cell phones now? The two of the major ones I see on TV, they show them dropping, in slow motion, and if they're designed to drop and not break, and that's the marketing hype going out about these two phones, then goodness gracious, having a piece of glass break on a phone that's just sitting on a table, it's kind of disconcerting.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe one way that Google could prevent this from happening would be if they just made their own phone instead of just, doing it with, partnering with Motorola or Huawei or LG. What if they just took control of making their phones much like they do the Chrome Pixel? And that is the rumor this afternoon. I've seen it all over the internet. I think it was first reported by The Information. And, Google's mulling over this idea. And, Jeff, before I just continue rambling on there, jump in. What do you think, man?
Well, if this is their idea of doing it, it's a bad idea. It's just a totally bad idea. And the reason why I say that is it's not going to stop the fragmentation of the Android operating system. That's number one. Why do they want to do it? Because they're already successful in what they're doing now. So I think it's not the answer. It is not the answer to put out their own phone. All it's going to do is, fragment it even more, right? And they're not going to be the dominant player of making phones. Why would they want to be? They just want to be the dominant OS, and they want to cut down the fragmentation. There's other ways to attack that than just making a phone.
Building premium devices has worked really good for Apple, Glenn, where they control the whole thing. And hey, let's face it, it has for Google too, because of their Pixel line. I mean, everybody talks about what gorgeous hardware, and hey, Microsoft's in that game too with their Surface stuff. And a lot of people, if they're going to spend a lot of bucks, it seems like they're willing to spend them for this top of the line. Just weigh in here, Glenn.
I mean, I've seen them come into other markets and do pretty well. Having previously been underneath one of their other projects. And I'm thinking, I don't think they're going to make it where it's you're gonna buy a Google phone and then bye Motorola, bye Samsung. I think what they're trying to do is just make sure that for those really diehards, they have their pure 100% Google phone.
But that's what
Kind
the
of a
Nexus
be-all.
line.
Go ahead, Jeff.
That's the Nexus line. That's the argument for the Nexus line.
Well,
right?
now,
But that's not.
Wait. You've got a Nexus 9 tablet, but look at that Pixel tablet and what they've done with it, okay? Why didn't they call it a Nexus?
But because it's not a Nexus. It's not right.
Because Nexus, Nexus 9 was made by HTC. Google made the Pixel tablet.
Right.
only to show that they could make a high-end tablet and that there's a market for it. But
Well-
the whole no, let me finish. The whole thing about the Nexus line was to get the pure Android experience. That was it, right? It wasn't anything else. It was about getting the pure Android experience out of you're the first ones to get it. You always will be the first to get the updates, supposedly, until that didn't happen.
If I applied that line of thinking, then Asus or HP would have built the Pixel.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's a pure Google Chrome experience. Come on, Jeff.
It's a Google Chrome, but it's not. But this is the Android operating system. It's Android OS, not Chrome OS. All right. So I know you're comparing the idea of making hardware and showing that the market is out there, and they did. They did that, and then other Chrome OS, other Chrome machines are out there now that will rival the Pixel, but they're only out there to show the way. I don't think they want to be in the manufacture of the stuff. That's just me. I mean, why would they want to do it? Bruce, help me out here, buddy. Help me out here, Bruce.
Well, just like I posted in the chat, this is an idea that keeps coming around. I posted a rather interesting article, and you read some of the discussion from November the 13th, 2014, so almost a year ago to the day. This thing keeps coming around. And some of the posts in there are kind of interesting. Google can't even necessarily launch a product well, and now you're going to have them, building their own. I mean, they have their customer service, their marketing ability, the experimentation they did about opening these Google stores and everything. This is not their bailiwick. I think they're best to stay out of it.
I honestly don't think they'd manufacture anyways. They would have somebody else manufacture. Their name would go on it. Pretty much what Apple does, really. I honestly, they actually had the ability not too long ago with Motorola. If they left it and kept it, they probably could have switched the name, and that could have been Google Rolla or something.
Okay, so then everyone agrees that Google Glass is going to be a big hit, and right next to it would be the Q. Right next to it, both of them will be side by side. So
you still want the
I still want the Google Glass.
Still there. I can see it.
But I think Bruce is right. They're not the best. That is not the best tool in their drawer of making stuff, selling it, and then supporting it. It's not what they do best.
About the most successful they've been is with cardboard and VR. Did you notice the newspaper that was that sent out
yeah. Very popular, very popular, and that was what a great way to expose a lot of people to not only VR but Google.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Hey, guys, let's talk about Fly Labs here. They've been dubbed the world's best video editing apps, and looks like Google has bought them up. And I'll just tell you guys, I love Google Photos, and for them to be adding the ability for my photos to easily become videos, this excites me. I think this is a great purchase. And who have we got here? Who's going to weigh in on this? George, talk to me.
I'll do it, man. First of all, it's normally an iOS app, so most of us probably haven't heard of it unless
till today I had no clue this company existed.
But
I heard Jeff's been running it quite a while.
Well, Jeff may have been if he has an iOS device hidden in his drawer somewhere. But the thing about it too is for a while now we've been able to upload our videos from our phones or whatever, but there's no editing. We can edit our photos, but we can't edit the videos. So in essence, it would be really cool to add stuff to the videos, like little intros and outros and scrolling things and little squirrels bouncing around, stuff like that. Whatever.
Well, some phone manufacturers have included their version of an editing software. It's usually like to trim what section of the video you want, not really to do any kind of extra features, but they do exist. It's just very, very few. till today, I had never even heard of this company. And that's just because I do not do iOS. I like them. They're great for some people. Not for me. Flame wars begin. I don't care. Do whatever. But I prefer my Androids, tablets and everything. But at the same time, if this is something that's going to be coming into Google Photos or even into the Android operating system itself and helping it along, that's great. I'm all for it.
Well, I mean, that's if that's what they're going to do with it. I mean, it seems like they would eventually either port it or do something with this software to throw it into Android. That would be
Right.
a logical move, but we have no clue what Google planned. They might just be like, oh, this is going to stay an iOS app, and that's it.
Yep.
What? Well, no.
I think we'll see it. We'll see it in Photos.
Yeah.
No, I believe we'll see this, and we'll probably even see like a web entity version of it. So
Yeah,
so you can edit videos from a web page or something to that effect. But
Sure.
they're not buying the app; they're buying the people, right?
They're integrating the team into the existing Google teams now. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you think about it, YouTube has some editing capabilities. You can add music, you can do some things, you can crop. You
Sure.
Not crop, but you can cut and and trim.
Yeah.
So I'm sure all this stuff is going to be all working out. Oh, there goes my dog.
Meow.
How long do you guys think it will take before we see these type of video editing abilities within our photos? Will we see it this year? Will it be early next year? Jeff, what do you
I
think?
would say not this year, but probably second quarter next year.
Glenn, take a guess.
I was going to say second quarter.
Okay, George.
I really hate to agree with Jeff again because this is maybe the second show I've done this. Yeah, it's second quarter.
Okay, Bruce.
Within 6 months.
Yeah, I was going to say summer. Summer of next year's. It'll probably be, when we see it.
Mhm.
Hey guys, Android Wear. Last week we talked about a $115 Android Wear watch. Okay, but Tag Air has we knew they were going to make one. Well, we learned yesterday it's only going to cost $1,500. It's
Oh,
going
God. Hold on.
Sapphire
Where'd my
glass.
wallet go?
a titanium body and 1 whole gig of RAM. And Bruce, I'm imagining that you're going to buy 2 of these.
Not hardly. I mean, I can't remember the article I saw, but do they have some kind of a deal that after 2 years, if you want, you can trade this in on one of their mechanical versions?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
So are they planning for the demise of Android Wear? They're saying, like, in 2 years when you go, I don't like that thing so much.
Well,
I'm going to take it back in.
They've been a high-end watchmaker, and this is a way to expose geeks to their product. So I'm sure that's where the offer came from. I'll still yet maintain, guys. I mean, listen, I loved my Nexus 7 tablet. Okay, loved it, and it tore up, and basically the hard drive went out. But I'll tell you something. Before it went out, my Nexus 7 was showing its age. Okay. And when I look at a lot of these Apple Watches and a lot of these higher end, I mean, these things, I'm sorry, guys, but they have a shelf life, okay? I mean, like all things computers, they keep building them and making them better and faster and do more. And, I mean, at some point, when are you going to say, wow, that $1,500 watch I bought, it's worth about $25 today,
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they said you could trade it in for a mechanical watch. They're not going to let you trade it in for another smartwatch because by then it's just going to be so different. But for $1,500, I'd rather buy a drone.
Oh, please
That's a
don't.
good
Don't get
point.
me started on that. Don't get me.
Jeff, that's a good point. Just think of all the cool tech things a person could buy for $1,500. Hey, even
Google Glass, Jeff.
Exactly.
Google Glass. Hey, a Surface Book, Jeff.
Exactly. I mean,
Surface Book that you could buy and have George install Mint on.
An iPad Pro, Jeff.
yeah.
iPad
I
Pro.
mean, well, you know, $1,500 is just it's a different stratus for a lot of disposable income for a lot of people. And it's not mine. So, and I'm not in, you know, as we know, I don't wear watches. So, you know, why don't I just give the money to my wife and let her buy whatever she wants?
Oh, Jeff, you're getting laid tonight, I can tell.
She can't hear me.
Oh my God.
That's why I can say it.
What are you talking about? She didn't even watch it.
Hey, guys, let's move on here. Let's talk about Android One. You know, it was basically going to be the operating system / smartphone for developing worlds. You know, it was going to come in at right around $100. And, you know, when it was announced, there were a lot of phones being announced that were, hey, I'm serious, smartphones for $35. And this was kind of Google's answer to that cheap phone. And, you know, as we look back on it, Android One hasn't been a very, very big success, has it?
Are they building it? Are they the manufacturer of it? Did they outsource it to HTC or?
Yes, it's to the OEMs. Yeah, and I think marketing has been a big problem with them because most of these things are appearing in these developing countries in these mom and pop stores. I mean, you know, there's not a Walmart necessarily in, you know, India, Jeff. So I guess my question to the panel is Android One, is this something that Google can salvage, or is this going to go the way of the Q and Google Glass, Jeff?
It's definitely going to go away, though, the Google Glass. Oh, well, I'm still hoping for Google Glass, but Q definitely.
Do you think Android One's going to go away, or can Google salvage it?
I think it's going to go. I don't think it's going to go away. I think there's just going to be usurped by some Chinese company building something very cheaply.
This was an altruistic, feel-good story, and it's going away. I mean, I understand the feel-good aspect of it, but they've not put the effort and the energy into the thing, and this is their project. They should have seen it through, but perhaps it was a little less than what they talked about. So feel-good, altruistic, good idea, but didn't get the energy and the leadership the project needed to move forward.
Do you think that Android One is the type of limited operating system that we can see in other devices? You know, I'm talking smart clocks, VCRs.
Wait, what are VCRs?
Yeah.
It's with the Betamax.
Hey, you know what has a better chance of servicing these third world countries is some of the phones that are being recycled that people are turning in and trading in. You know, that's probably a better option, giving them a little bit more power than trying to come up with this thing. They failed, and I think it was a good idea, but they didn't provide the leadership to get it done.
And I agree. I think these. You're right. Recycle phones are probably the better answer, and all the way around.
Do you guys remember this? The Firefox OS, the phone. Remember, we were seeing some of those were going to debut at $35. Remember those?
Yeah,
No.
in fact, I saw a couple of them at OggCamp. A lot of people used them.
You saw them actually?
Yeah, there was a couple people. In fact, the last night I was there when we were all hanging out at the place called The Leaf, one of the guys, Sam, had Firefox OS phone, and it's pretty sleek. I liked it. It's really nice.
So you didn't see any Ubuntu phones, huh?
I saw Ubuntu phones too.
Hmm.
Yes, in fact, I played with a few. The Ubuntu phones are very slick. I think they would give Android a run for their money.
You know why I don't think they would, George? Because most of the people now live within apps, and the Ubuntu and the Firefox phone aren't going to be apps. They're going to be, HTML5 websites, web pages, mobile. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. It's basically how I experience Facebook on my Nexus. But what I am saying is that most of the people who are using smartphones today don't use the web; they use the apps.
Well, the trick is for something like either Firefox or Android to push them out there is they have to push them out there. I mean, literally, they just sit out there as something for geeks to experiment with. So, I mean, it's not like you're gonna walk in and say, "Oh, do you have, an Ubuntu phone?"
So Glenn, what do you
pose
think?
an argument. I'm actually on my phone and my tablet finding that I go to the web interface of websites more than I load an app, just because of battery life.
Well, I do that with Facebook because there's
Yeah.
no heck of a load that app.
Facebook.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, they've done a great job with Facebook, and
Right.
I'm not a Facebook fan.
No,
But
not huge either.
None of us are really.
Yeah,
But plus Gmail,
Thing that we have to do.
Twitter, all of those, I've actually found myself going to the browser. One, because there's so much less memory hogs. They don't use virtually anything at all, so I save my processor power, I save my memory, and I save my battery. And all of that together, like Ingress is really about the only real app that I run, Vive la Resistance. So, I mean, it's gotten to the point where on my tablet and my phone, speaking of, is definitely showing its age. I would much rather go through the web interface. May lose some features, but those are features I probably wasn't using anyway.
It depends on what you use your phone and your tablet for.
Hey, Glenn, just for you, the lower app there, in the bottom, easy access to.
Yep.
Hey, Bruce, do you are there any websites that you go to daily through the web interface, or do you find yourself leaning on to the app?
I'm make sure I'm following your question. You're talking about like using the Chrome browser on the phone and going to websites.
The browser versus an app.
I usually like in Facebook, I usually put as my settings to use the browser and not the app. So normally I do the browser. But the mobile browsing experience on the phone is so bad when you get these silly pop-ups that come up and totally block your screen, what you're trying to read. It's annoying as all get out, and boy, I wish there was some kind of a successful ad blocker that you could put on Chrome, but there's a lot of argument about the pluses and minuses of that. But mobile browsing on the phone is it's a bad experience to me.
Like I say, I think Facebook has done an excellent job, but like I could give you another side of that. Is AccuWeather. AccuWeather has an awesome app, and for me to try and access AccuWeather's website from a mobile device is a terrible experience. So we're not there yet, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, we might be headed there, but we're not there yet.
And some places are better in an app.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no way I'd use like My Tracks or Runkeeper on the browser. It's just dumb. It has to access my GPS chip, and it depends on what you're using it for, right? So, if it has to access the attributes of the phone itself, then the app is probably the better way to go.
Yep.
But if it just getting and uploading information or something like that, perhaps the browser. But that's what OK Google's for.
Okay.
Cool.
Hey, anything else on that?
Yeah.
Hey guys, this really isn't an Android story, but it is a Google story, and we all love Hangouts. Hey, Google's announced they're going to be making some changes. They started rolling them out yesterday. It's going to be a new layout. Basically, your phone controls are going to be at the bottom center. Your other controls are going to be on the top right. And we're supposed to get better video out of this, which is a good thing. Bruce, I know you and I have talked quite a bit about the poor video quality of Hangouts. But listen, in doing this, basically all those third-party apps are going away. The Hangouts lower thirds. I know probably one that's going to hurt the Tech and Coffee clan is Hangouts Against Humanity. You know, we used to gather up and play those. We're not going to be able to do that anymore. So, Bruce, jump in here, man. What do you think about this new rollout?
Well, it's interesting to see. I probably would, if the biggest improvement I can think of would be to figure out a way to make this less CPU intensive. But when you look at the original post by Eduardo Fernandez on Google+, I'm intrigued when he starts out. Key changes include calls to start faster and stay crisper. You know, and then on the article that you've got on the document, you know, the same thing. Hangout videos will now be crisper. What do they mean by crisper?
Crisper meaning it doesn't look like they have any controls or less controls, so which might be bad because you might just have, you know, have to go high def all the time.
Well,
or something.
And it's also interesting. The original Google post says if you want to go back to the version of Hangouts that you're used to, then they give you a link, or you can click on the menu at the top right and choose original version. So if you don't like the new Hangout features, you can go and use the other one. For how long, I don't know. That option will be there, but at least it is an option.
Yeah, you know, I think it's looking more like Skype. You know, it has that Skype look to it. You know, a little bit, maybe simplifying it.
Well, let me ask you this,
Maybe
Jeff.
trying to pull people in.
Yeah.
Do you think quality, by quality, they're talking about frame rate, or are they talking about pixel, you know, like moving from 720p to something else? I mean, what do you think they're talking about when they say quality? And they don't address anything about audio quality. And quite honestly, I've heard a lot of people complain as much about audio quality of Hangouts.
Well, you know, I think it's all that stuff is, you know, I don't know how they're handling it. You're right. You know, you won't know until you look at it, and then you still won't know because your memory of what it was before is going to be, oh, maybe my internet connection is a little bit slow, maybe Comcast is slow, you know. So I think the first impression is probably going to be great, and then you know it might just degrade with time. Who knows? I know when sometimes I go back and look at our show here. And when I rewatch this, I'm going, wow, my video is not as crisp as not crisp, but as sharp. And sometimes I feel like there's a delay in my voice to the video, and I'm going, well, where is that coming from? I don't see it here, right?
Right.
So hopefully they're addressing. Maybe this was part of some kind of internal thing they knew about, and now this is the fix.
As Mr. Yusuf says, normally it's the jitter.
Yeah, I've heard him say that. Yeah.
The heck is the jitter anyway?
I have no clue. It's made up gibberish to me.
No,
but
it's not. Jitter is a measurable measurement on voice over IP communications, and there is a voice over IP communication component to this. And jitter is something you can adjust. I have the Cisco IP communicator. I can make some changes in the jitter. So it is a.
But apparently Joe can't make these changes.
Yeah, apparently Joe has no idea how to do it, and it's the biggest pain in his rear ever. Anyway,
Since Joe isn't here to defend himself,
we will move on.
But do you guys think this is an attempt to be easier, the knock of it being easier, more Skype-like?
As long as screen share stays, I am good with whatever they do at that point. Screen share is the biggest feature I think that Google Hangouts has on some of the competition, and if they lose that, that becomes a problem.
And you bring up a good point. There is more competition in this space than there was when Hangouts first started. One of my favorites, Appear.in, and there's a plugin you can download to be able to do screen sharing on Appear.in. They're limited to 8 participants. Here in Hangouts you can have 10, but there's more competition in this space than there was when Hangouts first started.
Right.
Speaking of that, listen, y'all don't hold me to these numbers. I promise you they're not. They might not be exact, but they're not far off. there's been a lot of talk about Blab here lately, and I actually saw a Google Pluser comment. The best he could tell, there's 400 regular Blab users. 400. You're .in, 200 million. Okay.
Mhm.
We talked about Zoom.us, and the video quality of Zoom is incredible. It's not a free service. I mean, it's a paid service, but the video quality is just excellent. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think Google's done a lot to Hangouts that has stunted the growth of
Yep.
Hangouts.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe they made it too big.
Well, they didn't support third party. I mean, third party contributions to this platform made a lot of things great, like Morris, Torkoff, whatever his name
Yeah.
is, you know.
Mhm.
But those guys, you know, why should they invest any time in coming up with some things that are going to make Hangouts better if
Moritz
it's not
does
going to
work for Google now, so that's one plot. He got a job from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
No,
mean, Hangout Canopies and the other one, you know, it was a third party developer, and Google just turned off the API.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a great way to find Hangouts, and Google still hasn't properly addressed that problem of easily finding Hangouts to join.
Yep.
So Matt,
I was going to say, go ahead. Go ahead. You go first.
You go.
either way, somebody
All right,
go.
all right.
Otherwise, I'll go.
Here's my thought on Hangouts and Google, where they get skewed. They don't stay in the direction, and they don't stick to it, because, you know, they at one point they wanted to really push games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to have games within you know, the G Plus community and all that stuff, and then they allowed to have games within the Hangout, which is supposed to, you know, even enhance it even more, and then game, you know, all this. So they get you into that kind of mode that this is where they think the direction is, and then they pull back when they say, oh, well, you know, that didn't work out, or we have, you know, different, we have to take our resources and push them over here now, because this is now our focus, because Vic left and now we're over here, or we want to you know, before we want all this unity, now we want to break things up. It's kind of like you don't know their mindset, and I think they get caught in this trap a little bit. And they created this, they had a winner in Hangouts, and then and I think they created more competitions for themselves because they didn't move fast enough with it for the things that they needed to take place, like crisper videos or rock solid kind of platform that you know will work every time, right? And we've all had instances where Hangouts kind of crapped out, or we couldn't
Daily,
we couldn't
hourly,
even start the videos or anything. So
Yeah.
it's maybe this is their attempt to kind of simplify it.
Yep.
Okay, anybody else? Hey, let's move on. Let's this turned into our discussion topic, but hey, guys, here a while back there was a Kickstarter project to 3 ex-Googlers were going to make a little Android PC. It's called the Remix. The thing started at $30, and a couple of tech and coffeeans, namely George and Glenn, jumped on the Kickstarter. Glenn, your 2 devices that you ordered have arrived. So let's hear about these $30 Android PCs.
This is the little guy right here. Oh, almost dropped it. This is the Remix Mini. The one interesting thing about it is the power button is actually the name up top here, and it's just touch. There's no actual button that I can tell. So it's, as you can see, it's nice and small. It is kind of limited. It has an Ethernet port. It has 2 USB 2.0s, which, I mean, for the first gen, I'm cool with. We also have a micro SD card slot, which I just ordered a 128 gig micro SD to plug into it, and then you have the HDMI as well. So I just so happen to have my brother's, who I'm going to give to him here shortly, but hardware-wise isn't bad. It's a quad-core 64-bit processor. Um, let's see, it can do 4K video rendering or decoding. The one thing that kind of got me, and I had to do some troubleshooting, and I've been emailing with JideTech almost every single day, multiple times, is it only supports 1080 or 720 video. And the one thing I was having is the computer monitor that I'm using right now is into my laptop for dual screens. Well, the DVI or HDMI to DVI adapters aren't working, and a lot of people are having that problem. And they're working on it, but the rest of the specs, 2 gigs of RAM. I actually got the upgraded version. You could get a 1 gig or a 2 gig. And then you have the 16 gigs built-in storage, and you have the 128 gig capable SD card. So it's been touch and go. I had this plugged into the small TV that's now back in the bedroom. I was hoping to have that still plugged up so I can kind of show that it works. And it's been, like I said, kind of hit or miss. I've turned it on a couple of times and it hasn't worked, and I've turned it on a couple of times and it has. So we're working out the bugs on it, but all in all, it's seems like a pretty good little machine once they get all the bugs worked out of it, and that's part of the being a Kickstarter, you have to help debug. So I think today I sent probably about 20 just little notifications to them about it, but right now still in development, I pretty much say, but I really do like it. I've played with it. Cannot do Netflix. It can do Hangouts. We were able to get into the Hangouts successfully. So, and since it runs Android, pretty much every app that I can run on my phone can run on here. So, but it's a fun little device. I'm really looking forward to it.
Why can't it run Netflix?
That is a very good question.
I'm guessing Netflix doesn't support it.
Right. I'm thinking because it is a 720p or a 1080p video connection, their app and the website right now just kind of puke and don't do anything. What were the other? TeamViewer, I tried using that because that's the app that I use to do remote control. It absolutely is... It doesn't like it very much as of yet, and hopefully the TeamViewer guys, if somebody may happen to send this video to them, maybe I will. I'd really love it if you guys would get support for this, and I'll beta test all you want. Just send me the APK and I'll do it.
Have you tried plugging in a USB wireless keyboard mouse combo thing into it?
Yes, actually, George and I are huge lovers of the K400 here, and it works flawlessly.
Yeah.
3 of them, I love them.
The other thing that I actually tested as well today, just playing around, my 1 terabyte external hard drive, flawless. As soon as I plugged it in, it recognized it, pulled up the file manager, and said, "Okay, here you go. What do you want to do?" And so it was a nice surprise, especially since this runs off the power. So. We'll have to see. I'm looking forward to tinkering with it some more. So
did you play any videos? How did they stream well, or did you try that?
I hadn't really gotten to try it too awfully much. When it started coming up, I tried Netflix. I brought up the Facebook webpage, came up fine, of course. I did try Google Play. So Google, if there's any Play music aficionados or whatever, Google Play Music, the app, will not let you play on the remix as of yet. You hit play, and it goes boom song, boom song, boom song, boom song, and then it times out because it sees that there's too many plays in a short period of time. If I go to the website, it works great.
Have you tried radio on it?
I have not tried radio.
Radio and it's, okay.
Well, and that's the cool thing. So what I'd like to do is anybody who listens to this or watches, I'm going to have to figure out some way. Maybe we'll put a link or something somewhere. I'd like to test apps on it and have fun with it. So, like, if you want to email the show with a list of apps you want checked, and I'll just have Duke kind of forward them over. Yes,
I wouldn't want to see Cody on it.
Cody?
XPFC, yeah.
Actually, several people have said Cody works fine, but I will double check it. My biggest thing right now, seeing that I can't remote into it, is I can't get screenshots. So, except for actual screenshots.
One of the things you had asked Jeff about videos, one of the Kickstarter videos is them testing watching a movie.
Yeah, yep.
So
they watched it off.
It supposedly does play high def videos pretty well. The trouble is finding the correct app to do it. I'm going to guess VLC would probably be a good app you can throw in there to test.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be testing some of the video apps. I was gonna throw Pandora on there just for fun, just to see. So, but definitely, I mean, I'd like to test out other stuff as well. So, I just had to have the time. So tomorrow may be just a huge, download it, try it, and see what happens kind of day for me. So
how much was it that you paid?
It was $30 a piece. I think it ended up being. I paid a total of $100-something, but that was including shipping and a whole bunch of other stuff.
So now they're $69.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The 2 gig one ended up being like $45 by the time you were done with it, I think.
Yeah. Yep. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's because I ordered one of the 2 gigs, and mine's still in Miami. It actually arrived in the U.S. 2 days after it was shipped. It ended up in New York on the 1st, and then it got stuck there forever, and then it seemed like it was in Miami yesterday. So.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I think this is interesting. I've joked before that Android could be a PC. It's got a file structure, like Windows and Mac.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, that Google Docs and Google Sheets is not Microsoft Word or Excel, but it's getting better and better all the time.
I did load those up, and they came up nice and fast. The 2 gigs does not seem to be a big issue as of yet, except for when you're playing the Google Play Music. When you switch to different browser tab or something like that, it does seem to kind of chunk up a little bit, but I just figured that was, that's something that'll get worked out later on. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a fun little device. Hope to Velcro it to the back of the monitor at some point.
Very good. Very good. Sounds like a promising, fun little, if you like to play around with stuff like that, yeah, Glenn, I'm a little jealous.
You may have to go get one. They're for sale.
Yep. Hey, guys, we are Tech and Coffee, and go to techandcoffee.info. Click on that coffee cup and come hang out with us. We hang out daily. We've got a community on Google Plus, 44,000 members strong. We love to talk tech, and hey, camera's not required. I guess a microphone's not even required. Just come on over. You can use the text chat. So yeah, we've got a Twitter and a Facebook. You can catch us there at Tech and Coffee 1. Our YouTube page is Tech and Coffee. Hey, search for us and add us on Google Plus. Type in Tech and Coffee. Look for that T and C logo. Hey, if you want to yell at us at Google Plus or Twitter, use #TechAndCoffee. Questions, comments, and snide remarks, AJ at techandcoffee.info. And guys, you can go over to the Chrome web store and add the Tech and Coffee extension, and that will get you direct links to our main Hangouts, our appear.in page, our community, and our website. Please go check it out, man. Just go to the Chrome web store, type in Tech and Coffee. You will see it appear. So, guys, excuse me, what kind of app you got for us tonight, Bruce?
Okay, I don't really have an app, but what I have is an experience with my phone. As all of us know, PCs can get kind of plugged up. I recommend my team, who are all telecommuters, to do a browser enema at least once a week. That is, delete the cookies, cache, temporary internet files, things that just kind of can slow your PC up. Well, the same thing can happen with a smartphone. This is my Samsung Galaxy Alpha, and it just started dogging in so many different ways, getting irresponsive, kind of stuck and everything. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to factory reset this thing. And Google makes it so easy to factory reset an Android device. It automatically backs up and restores all the apps that you had. It takes a little bit of time to restore your screens the way you liked. If you're using a launcher like Nova Launcher, like I like to use, it takes a while to get everything set up back the way you want it. Unfortunately, this particular Android phone does not have an SD card. Otherwise, like with the Note Android phone that Glenn uses, he could save his Nova Launcher profile on that SD card, and when he does his restore, he can reload that profile and put it back really quick. But I'll tell you what, it made a night and day difference in how this little Android phone. It's like it's brand new again. It's running nice and slick and does a good job. Yeah, there's that Note 2 SD card. So
Note 3, yep.
yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I just hardly recommend it if you're having some issues. My wife had some issues. Had another friend of mine. Just do a factory reset, and it'll take a while to put all your apps back on there. But it was a worthy fix. So just a very practical bit of advice. Factory reset. It can fix a load of issues.
All right, very good tip there, Bruce. So George, what you got, man?
Nothing really. I'm just going to tell everybody to download Ingress and join the Resistance, and then join the Tech and Coffee community of.
Yes.
But that's basically.
I will second.
You will second that one.
Now, George, I got to tell you, when I was in the Charlotte Douglas Airport, of course, we talked about this. I captured some portals and I did a lot of work. But now I'm in Melbourne, Florida, and I keep getting all these warnings. Your portal's being attacked back in Charlotte. It's like, okay, I got what I wanted to get out of it. I can't worry about it. Have at it.
I'll let you know this too. Keith and I walked around Reading and in the UK. And I leveled up at Reading. I went to level 6 from level 5. I actually leveled up in New York to level 5, or actually in Jacksonville, in the airport. Then I leveled up to level 6 just by walking around with Keith and basically having him pretty much destroy every portal in sight. And I would just grab them and take them. And
can you remote recharge? If you have a portal key, can I remote recharge a site back in Lynchburg, Virginia from Melbourne, Florida?
No, there's a range. There's a specific range. Yeah. But you can recharge like within a range. Like there's portals right around here that I recharge all the time. But I'm pretty sure there's a range on recharging them. But I think I lost my last UK portal just the other day. I lost a Liverpool one and I lost a Reading one the other day. I think they were my last portals. And I had quite a few. I probably had about 30 portals over there at one point. So.
Yeah, if the audience can't tell, we've got some serious Ingress players here. Hey, Glenn, what have you got?
Really, I don't think I have any apps at the moment. I read an article about the HP touchpad, piece of hardware that several of us, I do believe, have, and it's been a great little, I think it's like 9-inch tablet, where it will run Android 6. So I am probably by next show, going to have Android Marshmallow on my HP touchpad and hope to have some ideas and something to share on it. So we shall see. First, I got to find the thing.
Good, and that is a tablet that came with a Palm operating system. So that's a pretty cool
nice too. Palm OS had so much potential. It was so nice.
It was great.
Let's not go there. I might. Here. Hey Jeff, what you got, man?
Well, I would have had, but I looked on, and when I pulled up the spreadsheet, I looked up like one slot above me and said news on, and I'm going, damn, that's what I was going to be doing this week. So I have a little update on which I will comment on the news on because I will dovetail on yours a little bit. But 2 weeks ago, I reviewed the Perch and the video monitoring system. Do not update that. Do not use that app because it is has a memory leak and it just will drain your battery. So wait till they figure out what's going on with that thing before you try it out again. It killed my phone. I had to uninstall it. So that's my little thing for today.
Okay.
All right, very good. Yes, News On is an app that I've recently installed, Jeff.
Oh, did you?
Like it?
The only thing I did like it. I didn't like that it didn't have Fox.
Okay, well, it's
It
local.
does say news, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's news.
I kid.
Yeah.
Dying
But it's local.
I guarantee you people are going to be like, yeah.
Well, let's let Duke do the review, but it's local news. Okay.
Go ahead.
It is local news, and right here it is. It's loading here right now, and this is WJHL. It's not too far from me. It's probably about 15 miles, and basically it's not live, but it is local, and so WJHL does a lunchtime show. If I log on to this thing about 1 o'clock, there's the lunchtime show that was there, and it's just a great app to give you the ability to watch your local news. Okay, I don't know what the requirements are. It's also, if I navigate through it, I can watch some Knoxville stations, which Knoxville's actually a pretty good distance from me. But the app is based upon your location, so it kind of looks when you log on to it to see where you're at. And that's how it picks your local news. I think it's a pretty cool, pretty promising app, and it's right now it's rated 3.5 stars. Only been rated 210 times, but I see a whole lot of potential with this app. And if you are a news junkie, I think Jeff and I do follow the news pretty closely. You're probably gonna like News On. It's a free app. It's in the Play Store. Go check it out, man.
There's one thing to add to that
Killer's
too. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I was gonna say one thing to add to that. It's U.S. stations only.
Yes, international users ignore the last 3 minutes.
Keith Milner, no news for you.
But so, does it show your local Fox News? Because it didn't hear it. Just did like ABC and CBS.
No, I'm seeing looks like ABC and CBS are my choice.
Yeah.
Screenshot shows Fox 54 off.
I know, but it doesn't. It's funny. It's on my side here, it showed the local ABC and CBS as well. So it might be just limited to those affiliates.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's a relatively new app. I'm hoping it's going to get better. But with that said, if you like watching local news, it's a pretty good app for right now.
Yeah, and also if you travel a lot, if you're on camping or RV or something like that, it would pick up where you are currently located and show you the local news there. So I think that's a good thing for that kind of environment too,
And by the way, Chromecast is supported natively within this app. All you have to do is hit the icon and you can cast it to a TV.
That sounds like a cord killer's heaven.
Yeah.
Very
cool app.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
I can't think of anything. How about you, Kat? Anything?
More to come.
Ow. You just me?
Hey, guys. We are Tech and Coffee. Wander over to techandcoffee.info. Click on the coffee cup. Come hang out with us. We normally, through the week, get started right around 8, 9 o'clock Eastern time. And a lot of times they run way on up into the night. as our Europeans climb out of bed. We're almost 24-hour live, not quite, but almost. Twitter and Facebook, Tech and Coffee 1, YouTube, Tech and Coffee. Hey, questions, comments, snide remarks, techandcoffee.info. Also, wander over to the Chrome web store. Download the Tech and Coffee Chrome extension. Hey, guys, you all have a great week. We're going to catch you in 7. Peace out, everybody.
Bazinga.